Okay, so
All
I'm
right,
here.
this is our one-on-one. We're recording our one-on-one review.
Oh, excellent.
Tech. We're doing a tech check-in again. You know, since that's what these are with David Endo.
Try
It's
not
really
like. Okay, I'm
good
not hitting the
vantage
microphone.
point.
I'm not hitting the microphone. Okay.
Yeah, don't mess up the mic.
My executive
Although,
director showed me how to not hit the microphone. Okay.
um, although your camera view is innovative as always. I got to tell you, the last one that you did. What's today? Today's the second. October 2nd, the one you did on September 30th is really
Ugh.
it's too far inside your personal bubble. I just want to tell you that.
Was this the one when I was at the Alabama Capitol?
It was the one that is so close to your face that we can see your pores. I think it's just too close, you know. That's like that distance from your head is for your wife, your kid, maybe, you know what I mean? Like not the audience, too close.
So okay, fair enough. How's my video camera right now? Because apparently you sent me something in the mail that this is the way it works with all packages that come to our house. Either Lisa opens them up, and if they're for me, she just puts them in my office. Okay, and then I look at them and I'm like, I'll just put it over here on the table. All right, and I
Yeah.
don't do anything with it. So what? Okay, so
I
it's
sent you a new camera. I sent you
okay.
a new camera that has no food on it in the camera. Okay. So, you know, in the spirit of Hanson sending you the microphone, I just cold sent you a camera without asking you.
Yeah. Well, I knew somebody would explain it to me at some point. All right.
Yeah.
So here's
Yeah.
the microphone right here. You see, you don't hit that button right there, Charles. You don't
Don't
hit
press
that
that.
button. Don't touch
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. We
So,
learned that.
so when I get this new camera thing that you're talking, which I have, it's just I'm gonna tap it, attach it to the computer is what you're saying here, right up here on
That's what you're
top.
going to do. Yeah. And theoretically, it'll work. It could also 100% not work. So this is a future call out. If anybody gets a recording in the future that's just audio and no visual, it's because we messed up the camera thing. Let's talk about this, man.
What?
Let's
What
talk
do you
about
got?
that right there.
What are you showing me something? I'm not looking right now.
You
Oh,
can see
what's
it.
that? Oh, coach. Okay. All right. All right. Yeah, I just did a learning tour with a bunch of educators, and Tim Walz is a teacher, right? Or was
That's right.
coach and
That's right.
teacher. And so they were calling me Tim Walz.
They're talking, of course. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. But this is a special sign. This is from our watch party last night. We had these. We I got a text message from Shasti Conrad, who runs the Dems,
Yeah.
a few days ago, and she was like, "Hey, we hear that you've got the party, and we want to partner with you on it. And the Harris Walz campaign wants to partner with you on with somebody who's doing a big party in Seattle." So I
Okay.
was like, "Let's go, let's do it, let's do it." So this is a fresh sign from the Harris Walz campaign,
Oh,
flown out from their headquarters, brand new sign right here
okay.
with the new. I don't know if you know about caring on font, but this is they changed it to the it's not caring, it's kerneling. I can see. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, the debate last night was a huge party, 200 plus people, Stoop Brewing, Capitol Hill. We had Pramila Jayapal there. We had Suzanne Dobene there, and Shasti Conrad. And we had Washington State Treasurer and a bunch of other people. It's a very cool event.
So how do you do a 200 person watching the debate? Is it that all the TVs are turned on to the debate, or what?
They had a giant screen. They
Oh,
have this giant screen that comes down from the ceiling because they do trivia. They do trivia nights there. And it's like it was, the space that we were in was about 2/3 of this giant beer hall thing in Cap Hill.
okay.
So
Quick
yeah,
check-in, just for everybody before Charles and I are going to devote this to talking about the debate. That's what this podcast is about. But just
not about technology. Yeah, people
did
were.
you come back from somewhere yesterday?
I had just come back from North Carolina, but that
Okay.
was I came back on Sunday to attend a Harris fundraiser Harris Walz fundraiser on Sunday evening, and then the debate. I was here for the debate, and then I'm flying out to Georgia, heading to Georgia, and then to Texas right after that.
Okay, when we were in North Carolina, were you in the eastern part, so you weren't in the flood area or what?
No, we weren't. We were safe. Yeah, yeah. This is a note to everybody. We are in the total opposite side of the state, but they did see a little bit of flooding, and they were kind of cleaning up from that still. But we were not in any of the bad weather. It was beautiful weather actually in North Carolina. We were in just outside of Greensville, North Carolina. And this is important because apparently it's a Greensboro, North Carolina. And apparently there's also a Greensville and a Greensboro in South Carolina.
Oh,
So we we were out there. Yeah, it was good.
yeah.
Good doors. Good team.
I got back last night about 8 p.m. Seattle time from our learning tour with our educators, 32 teachers from all over the country, and it was a spectacular, amazing work there. It was incredible, really was inspiring for everybody. Some people, there's a person on that tour. Just I want to quick share this, who is teaching, and she teaches at Little Rock Central High School, which is the
That's
famous
cool.
high school in
Yeah.
Little Rock. And she teaches the AP African American History class there. And so like at Little Rock Central. And the day before the class started in 2023, autumn 2023, which was going to be the first offering of this class, the governor, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, issued an executive order removing advanced placement credit from that class and that class alone.
Wow.
Okay. And so this is the day before the class is going to start fall semester. This person, and this is all public information, her name is Miss Ruthie Walz, Walls, not WALLC, but you know, same kind of like worldview. Ruthie Walz sued. She was teaching the class. She sued the governor and said, you can't do this because you're discriminating against people in this class because they weren't going to pay for the AP test.
Yeah.
For them. Okay. She said,
Yeah.
you're discriminating against students in this class only. And a bunch of folks in town who are longtime civil rights supporters said, look, if you're really serious about this, we'll get behind you. We'll back you on this. She goes, let's go. And so,
Interesting.
so she, the suit is in a federal court. It's Walz v. Sanders, Huckabee Sanders.
Love that.
Okay? And the Sanders case, the Sanders office backed down like 2 days later and said, it's fine. It's fine. We'll stick with it. We're going to keep the AP credit. And they said, let's dismiss the case. And she said, we're not dismissing this case.
All right. All right.
Because this is for everybody. This is for not
That's
just
right.
So she's gonna come with us and get involved with us in our Educators for Democracy program, fight for truth. And then there's another person who goes to the Nevada State Legislature and works on lobbying for education and works with legislators there. And so we're going to get her connected to our Nevada team.
All right. That's good. Way to go, man. Way to recruit.
So we get back last night at 8 o'clock and I'm kind of paying attention to the debates. And you and I are only in the same city here for about, I don't know, 36 hours here. But I'm in Kirkland right now, just to be clear. I'm in Kirkland, so I'm not really in Seattle. Okay. And I'm Twitter following the debates, and it's clear that Vance is like smooth, apparently, like smooth and all this. So tell me about it. Tell us about it.
Well, first I'm going to move over to this wall over here because as you're talking, I'm on this new desk that rolls. Since we're sharing technology, but this is a new thing we got over here. Check this out. Check out this wall. Look at that.
Oh man.
That is all of our, since we're talking about Nevada and North Carolina and all the states, these are almost all the races we've ever worked on right here and all the literature that we got directly from the field. And we got it right in front of the window right here. So now people are walking by and they're like, whoa, what is this? And we've had people come in. Devin had somebody, she had a Dialogue for Democracy thing right here on Monday. And some woman just walked in because she saw this and she was like, what is this? Can I join you? And she joined the Dialogue for Democracy training. and she'd been knocking on doors in Michigan, and she was from Nevada.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh,
super interesting. We're just attracting all kinds of good people. But yes, JD Vance, the reason why we're talking about all this great stuff right now is because the debate was so gut churning. um, the summary of his part of it is that he is everything that we feared about Trumpism with a better messenger.
hmm.
The reason why he is so tough to watch is because he is like all of Trump's terrible policies and lies with a ton of polish and personality on it. And as we're watching it, what we can envision is that he's going to fool some people with this act. His like faux camaraderie on the stage, his fake outreach to people in the middle or folks on our side, him trying to look like he's reasonable and like he wants to listen to Walz and he wants to build bridges and stuff. It's all bullshit, but it sells. It really sells. He looked and sounded like somebody who was kind. He looked and sounded like somebody who was he humanized Trumpism. He seemed super reasonable, and that's why it was so sickening because he did it the entire time and he was very good at it. And for parts of it, he was actually better than Tim,
Oh yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah. It was clear on Twitter that in terms of like what they say, like if you're scoring the overall debate, that Vance just came across more effective on TV. He
Yeah.
performed the debate. I did watch some clips this morning, and I'm looking at it. I'm watching him while Walz is talking because you got the split screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm watching Vance, and I'm finding myself like saying, he looks like an okay dude. He looks like an
Right.
okay dude up there, right?
Exactly. Exactly. If you didn't know anything else about him, and a lot of people don't, and you just watch this debate, you actually like he gained some points for Trump in that. He totally did. He got some people from the middle. It'd be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what the doors look like in Pennsylvania now when we go back out there. So we got a team going out there in about a week and a half, and we're going to go back out to Bucks County. It'll be interesting to see what it looks like now because it could be more people who are saying, "I'm voting for, I'm voting for JD Vance." you know?
Well, let me take a counter perspective on this, and then I want to show a couple clips and a little bit of data. Okay.
Yeah.
So Walz had told the Harris vetting process, when they were considering VPs, like, I'm not good as a debater.
Not a good debater. Yeah.
And he's not.
He was
He's not.
nervous about it.
Yeah, he's not. He talks too fast. All right. He doesn't finish his thoughts. He just wasn't as good. And Vance is slick, right? Vance is
Yeah.
slick and polished. And Vance, like one of the least, my wife Lisa, she was reading a bunch of reviews of debate. And somebody had written that Vance lies like he breathes. Okay, it's
Oh
so
God.
comfortable to him. All right. And so overall, it's clear that Vance was appealing to people in a way that Walz just wasn't winning at all. But as a human being and not a robot, Walz was still landing. Okay.
Yeah.
Walz was still landing. And then on the two kind of signature moments of the debate, one on abortion and one on the election, 2020
Yeah.
election, Walz rose up.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're going to look at those clips in a second. But I have some data from CBS. Let me actually show you what this data says.
Okay, before you show me the data, go ahead. I mean, while you pull it up, let me just say, I really don't care about anything unless it's about swing voters.
Yeah, I know. Understand.
Because that's what this is like, when they show national polling on the election, it doesn't matter. What matters is Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, Arizona, Nevada, North Carolina. That's what matters in terms of how the race is going to go.
We it's like we've journeyed into a different world, and we're so like in the political space. We're like, oh, don't talk to us unless you're talking swing voters, okay? Because are these low propensity voters or are these high propensity? I need to know what's the demographics on these people. All right,
Mm-hmm.
all right. Okay, here we go. This is I don't know who this is. This is people who watch the debate. All right, that's all I got on this. But
Oh,
it's revealing. It's revealing. That's what I'm gonna say. Come on, people. It's hard in the sunlight here to find the mouse. There we go.
oh man, you've put yourself at such a disadvantage. All right. Okay. What do we got?
Almost. Hang on. Come on, people. Where'd you go? Okay.
Is this now over? So you're gonna click
Yeah.
on that?
Okay.
There we go.
Who did a
Okay.
better job talking about? These are people who are watching the debate. Okay.
Okay.
Abortion, Walz, way bigger, right? Healthcare, Walz, pretty big. Conflict in the Middle East, even though I've seen like Walz really didn't do great on that, it's still 50-50. The economy,
Mm.
50-50 of immigration, 50-50 essentially. So on the issues, that's where we see here. Now, opinion of Tim Walz before and after the debate.
Hmm.
If you were favorable beforehand, you went from 52 to 60. All right. If you're unfavorable beforehand, you went down 6 points. All right.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty
This is
good.
good.
All right.
Yeah, it's real good.
Um, at the debate, they mostly sounded reasonable or extreme. Walz, reasonable, 74%, extreme 26. Vance, 65 to 35. So that's pretty good. That's pro Walz. Okay.
Yeah.
Pro Walz. And then last year, if needed, are they prepared to be president? And Walz with a little bit of an advantage. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So these are some pretty good numbers. Now, wait, I got one more pretty interesting thing about some data here.
Yeah, I think that some of what's reflected here is that while Vance didn't, we're comparing Vance against Kamala really.
Yeah.
And it was a grand slam. So he hit a triple, and we're like, oh, that's pretty good. What he wasn't was he didn't strike out. It wasn't a Biden. And I heard somebody say something pretty critical, which is like, it was like watching Biden. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't
No.
actually, not even close.
Okay, so here's this is from some CBS reporting too.
Okay.
Walz's image gains in the no, I'm sorry, CNN in the CNN poll among independents, he gained 18 points in favorable image among them, slightly larger than Vance's at 14. These are independents, okay? And while
Mm,
Vance gained larger with voters who were already favorable to his side, Walz demonstrated a pretty significant degree of crossover appeal.
mm,
Vance came into the debate with just 68% of Republican leaning voters and Trump supporters viewing him favorably. And he increased both numbers to 85%, 17-point gains. That's among people who are already with him. Okay.
yeah.
But these are voters to whom votes should logically appeal. And he gained little with Democratic leaning voters, seeing his favorable rating rise from 2% to 7%. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Walz, meanwhile, saw his favorable rating among Republican leaning voters increasing from 8% before the debate to 24% afterwards. All right. So 1/4 of Donald Trump's and Vance's own base that watched the debate came out of it liking Walz. And he gained almost as much with them as Vance did with the same voters. All right.
Mm.
Um, and
Okay,
so,
this is really good. I like this one better because these are Republican leaning folks. I like
right,
this.
right. Okay, I'm going to close it up here. I'm going to stop share.
This is
I'm outside because if I was inside, everybody would be listening to my podcast.
totally,
And
totally.
this is
This is
Kirkland.
good. That's okay though. Half of what people watch is just to see what new environment or technology hurdle you're going to put in front of yourself.
Wait.
Um, okay,
Okay.
so I like that one a lot. I think that uh that helps to ease some of the fears coming out of that. I think that, liberals were hard on ourselves. We're super hard on ourselves. So Walz seemed reasonable. I think that this, what this tells me? I feel like the thing that is a through line to what we're hearing on Doors is that people who are Republican or in the middle are looking for a reason to shift.
They're looking for what they call in politics a permission slip.
Yes.
A permission
Yeah.
slip.
Permission structure, right? That's like the phrase that everyone's using right now. So Tim gave him a reason to come over. Tim is gave him some real reason to come over, and that's why you get more people who are coming from the right, because they're like, I'm ready. I'm done with these guys over here. I want to come over to your side.
So in the debate that you were at, the debate watch that you were at, so it's in Seattle, this pretty darn blue place, and you have the Democratic leadership in the
Yep.
state that are there. So how was it? Was it the audience pretty quiet throughout, or what were they like?
They were riotous. It was not like and this is why I'm saying that like liberals were hard on ourselves, and why I started with, the way people felt about JD Vance. They were more raucous than the presidential debate. And I had one lady, she left I'd say after the first 20 minutes or something. And she walked past me and she's like, this is a great event, but I cannot listen to JD Vance anymore. And she like rushed out. Somebody else on the mic was like, I need a Pepto-Bismol after that, because I just this stomach turning watching this dude. But they were yelling at the screen. They were yelling at the screen the whole time. When some of his biggest lies came up, they were yelling. And then, we're in a brewery, so and we were handing out drink tickets. I mean, that's a part of it. So free beer, free pizza. People were staying for the entire debate. By the end, man, if JD Vance was in the room, I think he would have been hurt. I think a bunch of Seattle libs would have taken him down. But
What, they would have said mean things or what? Okay.
They would have said the meanest things they could think of. Yeah.
You're a
verbal
problem,
abuse.
JD. You're
Yeah.
a problem. Okay.
Very strong Seattle language would have come. No, it was pretty, like, people were yelling at the screen. It was and then when towards the end, especially when Walz got his legs under him and he started to punch back, people were like, yeah, it was great. It was great.
Okay, so they're pretty fired up. I want to show the answer by Walz on abortion, and then have you tell us about the room and what's going on at that moment. And then I want to show the answer of the exchange of Walz and Vance at the end of the debate about the election, because those are the two moments that are clearly the post debate and through this moment discussion. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So, and could everybody hear the volume pretty good at the debate watch party?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Didn't you have some issues at the first one or something?
We did. We only had one speaker, and we just had to buy another speaker because it was about proximity to the speaker, and people were, they were like, I can't hear. Anyways, but this time we had two speakers, so we were good to go. Someone asked us to turn the volume down. It was too loud, actually, for part of it. But so this was a cool, I think what is it? The abortion one came about halfway through.
Yeah,
is that right?
Yeah.
And one of the cool things is that Pramila Jayapal stayed with us through this. I think she got to see this part.
Okay.
She was hanging out for a while, and when the cheers from her too. Everybody, when this came down, it was like the house exploded. It was great.
All right, I'm just gonna walk over here till I'm in the shade.
Oh yeah, this is good. This is a trial by fire. Here is optimal viewing experience for outdoor podcasting.
Before I came here, because I got the car's being serviced. It's what's going on right now, people, in case, I'm sure you were deeply wondering what was happening. I told my wife, I'm like, I'm going to probably do a podcast while I'm there. She got mortified.
Like, yeah, I can see the parts and service signs behind you.
Yeah. Okay. She said, well, everybody's going to be listening to you then. I'm like, no, don't worry. I can do this. And she's like, how are you going to do it? I'm like, okay. So I have a cell phone. I'm gonna use the personal hotspot. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bring my laptop. I'm gonna bring the microphone. I'm gonna bring my headphones. It's all gonna. This is how I roll. And that's when I put some Fritos in my pocket so that I wouldn't get hungry. And she's like, "But this is unbelievable." Okay.
Okay,
Here we
let's
go.
play the clip.
Governor Walz, after Roe versus Wade was overturned, you
can hear that okay, right?
Oh yeah, it's coming in.
signed a bill into law that made Minnesota one of the least restrictive states in the nation when it comes to abortion. Former President Trump said in the last debate that you believe abortion, quote, in the 9th month is absolutely fine. Yes or no? Is that what you support? I'll give you 2 minutes.
That's not what the bill says, but look, this issue is what's on everyone's mind. Donald Trump put this all into motion. He brags about how great it was that he put the judges in and overturned Roe versus Wade, 52 years of personal autonomy. And then he tells us, oh, we send it to the states. It's a beautiful thing. Amanda Zaworski would disagree with you on it's a beautiful thing. A young bride in Texas waiting for their child at 18 weeks. She has a complication, a tear in the membrane. She needs to go in. The medical care at that point needs to be decided by the doctor. And that would have been an abortion. But in Texas, that would have put them in legal jeopardy. She went home, got sepsis, nearly dies, and now she may have difficulty having children. Or in Kentucky, Hadley Duval, a 12-year-old child raped and impregnated by her stepfather. Those are horrific. Now, when God asked about that, Senator Vance said 2 wrongs don't make a right. There is no right in this. So in Minnesota, what we did was restore Roe versus Wade. We made sure that we put women in charge of their health care. But look, this is not where, if you don't know Amanda or a Hadley, you soon will. Their Project 2025 is going to have a register of pregnancies. It's going to make it more difficult, if not impossible, to get contraception and limit access, if not eliminate access to infertility treatments. For so many of you out there listening, me included, infertility treatments are why I have a child. That's nobody else's business, but those things are being proposed. And the catch-all on this is, well, the states will decide what's right for Texas might not be right for Washington. That's not how this works. This is basic human right. We have seen maternal mortality skyrocket in Texas, outpacing many other countries in the world. This is about health care. In Minnesota, we are ranked first in health care for a reason. We trust women, we trust doctors.
Governor Walz.
That's just about as good of an answer as you.
Yeah, well, and then he the other part of that is that I think it goes back to JD, and then it goes to him, and he goes, your rights should not be decided by geography.
Oh man, that's good.
Okay, it's either at the end of that or it comes back to him, and it was like that got a huge cheer. But the Project 2025 connection, that was golden in the room. Everyone loved that one. Our ability to attach Project 2025 to the Trump campaign, that is such a winner for us because everybody hates that damn thing.
The favorability rates for Project 2025, like if favorable or unfavorable, about 30 to 40% of people still don't know enough about it. But among the 60% who know about it, it's got like a 5%.
It's like low single digit. Yeah.
So this in that answer, he says several things that are really notable. He gives a personal example, 2 of them, right? He does personal examples, but he respects those people as he does it, just the way he tells the stories. Second, he talks about the fact that that you shouldn't be the same in Texas as it, or people say it shouldn't be the same in Texas as it in Washington. He says that's not true. It's a basic human right. It's a basic human right. He says that's none of your business. It's none of our business. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's classic kind of Walzian. All right. All that.
Yep. Yeah, it is. And so this is when he's at his strongest. So here's the other part that happened in the room, the Kentucky thing. The Kentucky thing as an example, the woman who died, right? Or was it no, it was the child that was raped.
Yeah, it was the 12-year-old having.
So right after that, at the next commercial break, I'm like, all right, Who's got thoughts? Because I know,
Oh, is that what you
especially
would do
after that,
during the commercial breaks? Is you would have people
yeah,
come up to the mic?
I would walk out to them. I would walk out.
Oh,
There's some good video of that too. But there was this woman who had been shouting during these moments really loudly. And I was like, I'm hearing something over here. Where's it coming from? And somebody pointed at her. And she was like, no, no. And then I walk up to her and someone's like, she's an elected official.
mm,
She was an elected from Kentucky.
really?
Yeah, she was an elected, and um she was just really passionate about, how she felt about that segment and about Walz and how he was doing. And she was talking about how she was really excited to be around a bunch of Dems. She was visiting in Seattle for some reason. I forget what it was. But later on, the person who was with her said, she's never had this experience. She's never had an experience where she could go to a place that's full of Democrats and people are cheering for her side and her beliefs. And this was such a moving moment for her to feel how she felt about what was being said by the right or done by them, and to have so much support in the room.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, this is common power. This is what we do. And it's here in Seattle, but we ship it across the country.
Right. And when we show up in a Kentucky, then
Yep.
we show them they're not alone. They tell us all the time. Don't
There
feel
you go.
alone, right?
There you go. That's exactly right. And that by itself is enough reason for us to go out there. But that was a really cool moment.
That's really cool.
And she was there with her daughter too. She was there with
Oh,
her daughter,
yeah.
and that was big for them.
Okay, here's the last moment. It's literally like right at the end of the
Yeah.
and it's a question about the election. Now, I wasn't at the debate watch party. Were people there the whole time? They stick around mostly.
Oh, the whole time. Yeah, we bought so much pizza. We bought so much freaking pizza, man. And that was to keep people there. It was like, so in my mind, because we ran out halfway through, and I was like, well, we got to buy more pizza. It's like Costco, man. We gotta have food so they stay. It's like IKEA. You put the food halfway through so that people don't leave. They can just get food and then shop, go back to shopping. So
Classic consumer metaphor, Charles.
there you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
This was a threat to our democracy in a way that we had not seen. This was a threat to our democracy in a way that we had not seen. And it manifested itself because of Donald Trump's inability to say. He is still saying he didn't lose the election. I would just ask that. Did he lose the 2020 election?
Tim, I'm focused on the future. Did Kamala Harris censor America?
That is the most smarmy, weak thing, right? That I can only imagine what the brewery did at that moment. All right.
Oh man, it was like they were ready to jump on the screen, but it was the part after this that relieved it all. Go ahead.
Did he lose the 2020 election?
Tim, I'm focused on the future. Did Kamala Harris censor Americans from speaking their mind in the wake of the 2020 COVID situation?
Look at his face, man. Look at his face.
That's what he delivered. Because for the entire time, he's not doing the face thing, okay? And it was so effective when Kamala did it, and then Tim is just not delivering it the whole time. He's being a good, respectful debate participant, but he needs to give us the face that we're all thinking in our mind. And that was the moment he was like,
That I just am noticing this for the first time. So we're gonna watch that face again.
Yeah.
He didn't lose the election. I would just ask that. Did he lose the 2020 election?
Tim, I'm focused on the future. Did Kamala Harris censor Americans from speaking their mind in the wake of the 2020 COVID situation?
That is a damning non-answer.
It's a damning non-answer for you to
right
talk
there.
about
That was
censorship.
it. Like,
This was a threat to our democracy.
When he said it's a damning non-answer, right?
Yep. The face plus the cutting away from what he was delivering, and then going and say, I'm going to ask you right now. And this is great because they couldn't do that without the live mics. So this is a difference from the other debate.
Oh,
Live mics, right? They both had live mics so that he knew he could ask him a question straight up and see if he would answer it and have this back and forth. You don't get that without live mics. So it was either like Tim really delivered all the things that he could deliver, like within his wheelhouse.
Right.
He hit all the notes. I think he said some words wrong here and there, but he remembered all the pieces. Like you could imagine that as like a practice moment where I want you to turn to him and ask JD
Absolutely.
Vance this
Absolutely.
question. And he remembered it and he delivered it. If it wasn't that, and if it wasn't planned, then oh my God, his instincts are great because that was perfect.
It was. I agree with you. Probably planned, probably prepared, probably multiple times prepped for it. But still, you got to do it. You got to do it. And he turns to him, and then it makes Vance answer. Vance has to answer, right? So,
Yeah.
and then
And there's no way. How do you answer that? How do you answer that except for a terrible answer?
And Walz's facial expressions, we'll just watch it one last time because it's only 30 seconds and it's so good. His facial expressions, he's so pissed and mortified, right?
Democracy in a way that we had not seen. And it manifested itself because of Donald Trump's inability to say. He is still saying he didn't lose the election. I would just ask that. Did he lose the 2020 election?
Tim, I'm focused on the future. Did Kamala Harris censor Americans from speaking their mind in the wake of the 2020 COVID situation?
That is a damning non-answer.
It's a damning non-answer for you to not talk.
He's like, did you guys see that? That was complete bullshit that you just heard. Did you hear that? Did you just say that? Whoa. Yeah.
Damning non-answer. That's so good. That's so good. And so I'm Twitter following this because I'm literally on the plane and I'm in the cab coming home at this point. Okay. And one of the people I follow who's definitely he's anti-Trump. He's like modestly pro Harris and Walz, but he's anti-Trump, but he's a pundit. And he Stuart Rothenberg, pretty like slightly center left. He's been the whole time, he's been like, Vance is kind of coming through this pretty good. Vance is coming through this pretty good. And I'm just at this moment in my mind, I want a moment. I'm just hoping for a moment, right? A moment that just wipes out everything before it. All right.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I know we're getting to the end of the debate and I'm not watching. I'm just looking at the clock. And then he tweets out game, set, match, Walz. All right. And I'm like, yes, whatever it was,
Finally, there it is. Yeah, because that's going to be the thing that's played because less people are watch this than watch the presidential. And the clips are going to carry the story. That's just the media ecosystem that we're in. So yeah, great clips coming from this.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you and I are gonna try to get together on the podcast a couple times this week. We got some things to talk with everybody about. But hey, CP World, we just want you to know. Let me tee you up here, Charles. What's your high level message right now to CP Nation? What's your high level message at this point?
High level message is that this is going to be a real fight. I think that things are still trending in our direction, and we are, we're some of the most elite voter canvassers that exist in the country, and people are telling us that. Suzanne Dobene, who's somebody who we've been talking to about where we go in the country, she was at this event. And she pulled me aside and she said, I just had a conversation with strategy people about who needs help in the state, in the country. And there was one.
No, Charles. Wait, you froze for a second. You froze. So
I froze
right when you said she pulled you aside.
Maximum. Here, let me see if I can move.
No, it's all right. We're almost done. Just try to power through, man. Power through.
Yeah, she pulled me aside and she said, I just been I'm on the phone with people who are talking strategy about U.S. House races and where we need the most help and where we're not getting it. And I thought there's just one candidate that came to mind, and I thought of you and Common Power immediately. And I was like, I'm going to see Charles. I got to talk to him about this. So people know what we can deliver, and as things get tighter in certain places, Common Power is going to be sent to the highest efficacy neighborhoods, districts, door knocking, missions in the country like that, like wherever they need people the most, wherever they need good canvassers, high quality canvassers, the people who will go places where other people won't go, it's going to be Common Power. So buckle up, everybody, because it's going to be tougher than maybe we imagined. The entire kind of feeling about the entire campaign, that pressure is just you're gonna feel it more and more and more. So just take care of yourself, but know that this is gonna be a slog. This is gonna be a fight, and you're in the right place.
Awesome. Awesome. That gets my wheels churning for thinking about a couple of things for folks. We're gonna need to raise some more treasure, but not today. All right. All right. Because when people come to you and ask us, can
Yeah.
Common Power step up? We have a mantra. We're like, our answer is yes, if at all possible.
That's right. That's right. So we may have to add a state here, man. I don't want to say the state in the race right here in the recording, because then we're out there, but it is a state that we're not currently in. So that was a special request from the head of the push from the DCCC.
All right. All right, man. Have a good day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, take care.
Bye.